What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a new and exciting episode of the Viall Files Ask Nick edition. I'm your host, Nick, joined by the household of Allie, Amanda, and Derek. The team's finally back. Derek's back from jury duty. Anything you want to share? Oh, Derek, your mic's off, isn't it? Yeah. All right.
Were you silent or were you silenced?
Derek was silenced. Derek's mic's not on. Just yell, Derek.
Hello.
Okay, there we go. Derek's back from jury duty.
Thank God.
Thank God. What's new? What's going on? What's cracking? What's happening?
Well, we got a write-in that I thought was like a very good discussion topic because it pertains to lifestyles and compatibility. And so this person wrote in saying basically they'd reconnected with someone from who they'd known in high school, matched on Bumble. They've been talking, starting to date, but they have some concerns about like overarching compatibility. So what they wrote was, I live in the city. He lives an hour outside of it, basically where we both grew up. When he came to see me in the city today, he was kind of overwhelmed. I had the feeling he was quieter than usual.
All the cars and buses.
The bright lights. I had a feeling he was quieter than usual. Maybe it was just the nerves, but he kept saying how crazy the city is and how many people are out and about. I didn't even notice it. For me, this was a very normal daily life. He lives a very quiet life. He's doing his master's degree right now while working part-time. He goes to the gym a lot and loves motorcycles. He spends his weekends going on motorcycle rides, and he has a few close friends. Nothing too crazy. Rarely goes out, spends a lot of time with family, goes to sleep early, gets up early.
Sounds like a hoot. How old is this guy?
We don't know the age.
87.
How old is she?
42.
We don't know the age. Not many people disclose their age unsolicited.
Okay.
But if you want, maybe if you're writing in to ask Nick.
I feel like, the people who write in, they should know the show.
Well, it's like the Reddit threads where it's like, I, female 25.
Sure.
Yeah.
But anyone who's written in, I'm assuming at this point is listening to the show, and every call starts with fake name, real age.
I feel like I try not to judge people based off of age. Unless it's sometimes
We've been literally doing that since the beginning of the show.
No, but in terms of like assessing
judging them,
the
but
juiciness.
It's a data point.
The data point. And in a lot of situations, it's an important data point. Because if nothing else, either you're the rule or maybe the exception to the rule, but like it matters. In this particular situation, like I want to know if this guy's like 23 or 42.
Mm-hmm. Okay, actually, sorry, she's 27.
Okay.
Sorry. It was on the top of the page. It was cut off.
They grew up together?
Yeah, like knew each other growing up.
So he's about 27. Okay.
You ask me follow-up questions like I've been out to dinner with these people. And like I can be like, oh my God, yes.
That is my presumption. Yeah.
So her, on the other hand, my life is very busy, she says. My work hours are different every week, and I work in live video production. I have several different friend groups that I see regularly. I go out for dinner 2 to 3 times a week and a club once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks.
Jesus.
I love to party. When I drink, I start smoking. I also love to spend time with my friends, especially my closest ones who live in the same building as me. Even though finding time to date isn't easy, it's still something I want. I stay up late, I get up as late as I can, and I do go to the gym as well. So right now,
God.
I don't know if I'm looking for someone that lives that busy life with me and goes out to party with me, or do I need someone to kind of settle me back in and just give me some peace in life?
Is this someone she's been dating or?
Well, they matched on Bumble. They knew each other growing up, and they matched on Bumble. So clearly they're both looking for something.
And they've been talking for a few weeks now, is what she says. So I was just curious because I do think that's like the big question of relationships is like, which areas do you want to have someone who balances you out, is maybe different, has different strengths from you, and which areas is it just easier when there's alignment? And so of the kind of things that she mentioned, the lifestyle differences, do people, any strong thoughts or opinions on which ones would be the most significant lifestyle differences? Or just,
I just ended something because of compatibility. So I feel like I'm like, move on.
Say more.
It's just like sometimes you just don't, I don't know. I was getting so annoyed by how different our schedules and lifestyles were.
Yeah, I mean, that matters. I think this particular person's overthinking it a little too much, too early.
Yeah, although I would be pretty taken back if I was on a date with someone and they were like, oh my God, the city's just kind of overwhelming right now, you know?
I mean, if you live in the countryside, it's going to feel like a bit much.
I wouldn't judge this person. It would just be like not the vast majority of people I interact with would not have that reaction. So
Yeah.
it would probably.
What is that? What are they asking? What's the question?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm looking for someone that lives this busy life with me and goes out to party with me, or if I need someone to settle me back in and just give me some peace in life. I can't figure out if these opposites are a positive change or if I need someone to match my energy.
Well, I guess it depends on where they are in their life and what do they want out of it.
Yeah, because it seems like she's happy with her current
Sounds like she likes
clubbing
her
and
life.
going out. So I'm not sure why she's questioning if she needs someone to settle her back in if she's so happy with where she's at.
I don't know the settling back in.
Oh,
And she can.
like when you date someone who's a good influence, just in like certain habit and lifestyle things.
Is there something wrong with her influences right now?
Yeah, it feels like she's thriving.
Yeah,
I feel like she's
out
doing
there
everything she wants to
doing
do.
her thing.
She's like that TikTok noise where it's like, I smoke, I drink, I fuck bitches, that's her.
But it's not like she's like 39 writing in and being like, I just like can't help but go out and party all the time. And I just need someone to like pull me back to reality.
But good influence doesn't imply that she is like out of control or is inherently bad. It just means that like the way this person would show up in her life might be positive changes in terms of like going to bed a little earlier, like on certain weeknights, you know, like things like that. Like it sounds like this person.
You don't have a partner to like get you to go to bed on time.
I feel like actually that's something I really think about with a partner is like, how do they encourage me to like maintain like wellness practices that I have, and how much is that also a priority for them?
I think overall, like dating someone who you think like takes care of themselves, but she's not describing herself as like, to Allie's point, is like out of control, where she's just like, my life's falling apart. You know, I have no guidance.
But I literally just said, like, it doesn't mean your life is inherently bad. It just means that the changes that people bring could be like positive. Like, I think for this, and it also doesn't need to be radical, or maybe it's just like once a month, instead of having the club night, she has like a quieter night in.
No, I hear it. I'm just saying, as far as this particular guy, I think she's probably overthinking it at this stage. Because I do think the fact that they lead drastic lifestyles, if nothing else, is more of a, if anything, it's a red flag. Because I do think from a compatibility standpoint, it might be too much for one of those people.
Yeah.
Like either he's just going to be like, I don't want to come to the city all the time to hang out with you. And while she likes that he's responsible and things like that, and maybe she's thinking to herself, you know, maybe I could go out a little bit less. Like ultimately, she'll stop going out when she wants to stop going out, you know? And it sounds more like she likes the idea of what he brings to the table rather than actually, when she's ready for it, she'll be ready for it.
Yeah.
Let's say she starts to date this guy and he has healthy habits, whatever those healthy habits are. Yeah, like she can pull from that and vice versa. But I don't think you date like the idea that she's going to date this guy specifically for how much he is different from a lifestyle standpoint is a way to try to mimic that behavior more.
Well, I think the thing is they're already vibing. They get along. They're talking. Now this has come up because he went to the city. It kind of exposed this incompatibility. And so now that it's like, we already know that we get along as people. So it's like, would this be a positive thing? Would this be a negative thing? Is this a non-issue of these lifestyle differences?
Also, do we even know if it's a compatibility thing yet either? He is in grad school. So it just could be a product of the intensity of this program where he's just like, I work, I want to stay in shape. He goes to the gym a lot, and he's just, I don't have fucking time for it.
Yeah, I think we need more time and data points because as Nick was telling me when in my situation, he was saying like it's one thing to have different lifestyles, but is he willing to try the city? Is he willing to stay up a little later? Like we haven't seen
when he does go out.
Yeah.
Is he a good hang?
Are you
is
a
he
good
fun?
sport?
Can he put himself out of his comfort zone?
Is it a matter of like him being super introverted where he's just like he's like a fucking social liability and you have to constantly worry if he's okay? Or does he shine? And him not going out is just a matter of him, again, just being too busy. And as far as like the bright lights of the city, maybe he just has to like hang out there a little bit more.
How much do you feel like you guys individually will kind of potentially alter your lifestyle based on a person you're dating? Obviously, thinking back to your days when you were dating multiple people, like the different people that you've dated before.
So what's the question again?
Just like how much do you feel like your own
Back to when I was dating
lifestyle?
multiple people.
I just meant
when
like
you were the bachelor,
when you were a huge fuckboy, and no, I just mean like in terms of when thinking about the various people you dated throughout 20s, 30s, whenever, when you date someone, how much do you feel like you kind of adapt your lifestyle based off of their own lifestyle practices?
0.
yuck.
Yeah, I never adapted to anyone.
I mean, I would like stay up late because he wouldn't get off of work until a certain time, which I hated doing. Yeah, I would like I would try to like make shit work. I like to go to bed at 9. He didn't get off work at 9. I will stay up until midnight on a weeknight, even though that makes me want to die.
Okay, yeah, that's sustainable. I guess I never dated someone where it was like we were that off in terms of different schedules.
Wait, can I say a fear that I have that is probably me overthinking things? Which is I need to be walked like a dog. Truly, I need to move. Like, I need to move. I am not a functional, competent, or happy person if I don't like move regularly. And I love going for walks. And I feel like my boyfriend doesn't like.
We have we've touched on this.
And it's still on my mind.
What do you mean?
She says this before.
Like,
she needs to be
literally-
walked like a dog.
I need to be walked.
I say it with love. She does.
And when you say you need to be walked, like you can't
She
go...
has to walk.
I can go, but it's like if I'm spending like a weekend with my boyfriend.
Yeah.
It's also obviously I can do it on my own, and oftentimes it's like a good.
He hates walking?
He's just not into it. Yeah, he doesn't gravitate towards
walker.
it.
Well, I wouldn't call myself a walker, but if I were dating someone
Who identified as a walker, you would go on a walk.
I would walk, yeah. How long are these walks?
Amanda can go for a long time. I've been on walks with her. She one time lost her Invisalign in West Hollywood, and we had to retrace our steps.
And we found it.
We
My
did.
God.
And
So
we
this is
found it.
like to walk with you is like a whole...
It's a journey.
It's a couple miles.
Well, it's a few different things. It's like I would rather walk.
You're running errands?
Well, I would rather.
It's a few different things. You want to go on a walk? Next thing you know, you're at a dry cleaner.
You're in North Dakota.
That would be a nightmare. You got to go for a hands-free walk. That's part of the charm, I think. So there's like quality time walks, scenic walks. There's like sheer necessity walks. There's like functionality.
What's a sheer necessity walk? Like,
That's like
She
I'm
had one
going
yesterday.
crazy.
She had one yesterday.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Get out of the house.
She had to go on
Yeah.
a quick pace.
Like I need fresh air.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
need to move. Like this is not
those. I like those.
totally like
Yeah.
a little power.
Just like a
But then I'm always one who's like, let's not Uber. Let's just walk. It's 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I like that.
So
But like a 2-mile expedition, like a 40-minute walk.
I love it.
Yeah. She could go for a long time.
Thank you.
And this is a requirement to date you?
Well, it's just something that I find myself feeling anxious about. Well, first of all, I think I'm constantly thinking about the future in a way that I'm like, I'm not sure if this is healthy, and I think I should maybe be living in the present a little bit more. But I'm
Wait,
just
with
like
the walking part or the
with the walking, I'm like, so
She's
is my
thinking
whole
life
life
partner.
gonna be? Thank
Yeah.
you for translating for me.
She's thinking, am I going to be 65 walking alone in the suburbs of New York?
I think you can find a walker, but maybe Nick's not your guy.
Oh my God.
Load.
It sounds like this is very important to you. Like,
Yeah.
hey, here's my question. How happy would it make you if he shared in your enthusiasm to walk?
I would be thrilled.
Like on a scale of 1 to 10. We're talking 12 here?
No, we're talking 7.
7's not that exciting.
No, sorry. For the listeners, I'm pointing my finger at Nick right now because just this like past week we were talking about how people inflate on scales of 1 to 10. How people are always like,
Yeah, but not
everything's
I
people
understand.
really
it's
just
above
use-
average. 7's above average. It's above average.
'Cause
But I thought, like, as someone who's describes himself as needs to be walked like a dog, who is burdened with these lonely walks.
it's not.
Yeah.
They're not low. It's not the absence
And if
of
you
him.
could have a partner that shared in your enthusiasm, I was expecting more than a 7.
Well, I was kind of thinking of all the other things that you could ask. I didn't want to put walking at a 10 because I'm sure there are things that are like much more where it would be much more impactful for someone to have enthusiasm. Like if someone is enthusiastic about my family, like really enthusiastic and like genuinely, like I feel like that's a 10, you know?
What's his skill set enthusiasm?
Like how enthusiastic is he as a person?
Can he be, yeah. Like I'm a 0.
Oh.
Like a 1. Maybe.
Yeah, I would say, yeah. You're
And
more
it's
than a
such
0,
big
but
part
it's
of your
not high.
charm. It really is.
If I feel like that's fine, I'm exploding on the inside.
He's passionate, but not
He's
enthusiastic.
a chill dude.
Just chill. Yeah.
Yeah,
But he's more than Nick.
for sure.
That doesn't take much.
He's also,
It
he
doesn't
loves to be, like, he loves to drive. Like, he's the one, like, he'll organize
God.
his friend group.
Great sex or great walk?
Oh. Well, okay, here's what I'm immediately thinking about a lifelong partnership.
No.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Great sex, great walk.
No,
Instinct.
I think more life partner.
So are we for the duration of the relationship, great sex, or like extreme walking compatibility, or like right now, great sex, great
For the
walking,
next 20 years.
and it's guaranteed
Feel
great
like
sex?
your hip gives, yeah. Well, you need a hip for both walking and sex.
Yeah, I'd say great sex because it's like I'll call my mom on the phone while I go for a walk.
Okay. You're not going
but
to call
I'm
your
not
mom
calling
during
my
sex.
mom
Yeah.
during sex.
Yeah. I played Heads Up on Memorial Day. Guess who came up on Heads Up?
Nick Viall.
Nick Viall. And everyone just screamed, "Your boss!"
Oh, I'm on Heads Up?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. In the Bachelor category.
You made it.
Not in the general category.
There's a Bachelor.
Yes.
Oh, so just like
My
the
friend-
whole show has a category?
My friend got drunk and paid $40 so we could have every deck on Heads Up.
All the expansion
That's
packs.
definitely less cool.
Well, you're there.
I thought I just like made it in general.
Sorry. I'll let you know if you pop up on other ones.
Okay.
Should we get to our callers?
Let's get to our callers. Oh, by the way.
No. Sorry.
What?
Breakup song of the week.
Ah.
Oh, no. Also, housekeeping. We're not going to preview our guests this week for fear that they might be removed from our lineup via some networks. But we do have a great week lined up for you. Can't wait to share all about it. Get ready for another amazing sizzle drop from the one and only Allie. We have a new update for all you update lovers out there. We dropped one last week. I'm sure you listened to it and loved it. We dropped one last Friday for Viall Files Plus. Again, remember that every month we drop 2 additional updates behind Viall Files Plus. In addition to the one that we drop every month on Viall Files Classic, it's free to sign up. You get a 7-day free trial. If you haven't checked it out yet, I don't know what you are waiting for. By the way, I just started watching Vanderpump episode 1, season 1, and we're going to start recapping that on Viall Files Plus. It was a really good first episode. It was strong.
It's good. Shout out Kristen. God.
Yeah.
It's really weird watching like the early seasons, knowing what we know now and like knowing who the major players are.
Also, I love that like Tom Sandoval, like I think one of the first things he said was not like it was following, I think, Katie talking about wanting to be like a musical artist. And then Sandoval was like, I just want to be a celebrity. He just wanted to be famous. That's all. That was his only.
At least he's honest.
Yeah. He was vague, but yeah, no sense of like real. He just wants to be famous.
Love.
And I guess that's how you start a cover band.
God bless.
That's why.
And speaking of covers and songs.
Well, and you know who specifically is going through a breakup right now, Mr. Tom Sandoval. He does not get to listen to this. This is for Ariana only. Someone submitted an awesome song called Spread Thin by Mariah the Scientist. They said, this song was the song that got me through when I broke up with my ex-boyfriend of 3 years. If you have ever been lied to or lost trust in a person that you once loved, this song is for you. Lyrics to belt at the top of your lungs while driving with your windows down. Baby, you're the reason you always think the only one who needs attention is you. Don't be so conceited. I hope you learned honestly was the only thing that could keep me from leaving. Honesty. Fuck me. Do you want me to just read that again so it's
You're
clean?
reading like me.
No, I feel like that's fine.
I've been shocked that nobody comments on my like glaring dyslexia.
I'm
it's like diagnosed.
I'm running cover for you.
Yeah. What's that called? I feel like there's a specific word when it's like you make a big scene to hide the sneaky thing.
A Trojan horse?
Yeah. Distraction?
A what? A diversion?
A diversion. Yeah, I may think Trojan horse is what I was thinking.
Nick is your
Right.
All right. Well, let's get to our callers.
Question time with Nick. Let's ask Nick your sexy questions.
How's it going?
Hi, how are you?
Good. What's your name?
I'm Haley and I'm 26.
How can I help, Haley?
My soulmate is marrying someone else.
Oh, shoot. Okay. Why do you think this person is your soulmate?
Well, it's a pretty long story. We met about 7 years ago. We kind of had like an on and off again sort of situationship. And I feel like I haven't connected with anyone else as strongly as I've connected with him. And every time I date someone new, I always compare him back to that person. And no one's really matched up since then.
Okay. Understandable. He also, if I heard you right, was in a situationship with you for how long?
So the first time we met, I was a sophomore in college. He was a senior. We met my first week of sophomore year at a party. We instantly hit it off. I was on the verge of a breakup with my high school boyfriend. After meeting this guy, me and my high school boyfriend broke up a couple of days later, and then me and this guy started talking every day. I visited him at college pretty much like every weekend for about 4 months. So the situation at that time lasted about 4 months. And
Okay.
then we decided to break it off the spring semester of my sophomore year because he was considering moving away after he graduated college and didn't want to start a serious relationship.
And then what happened?
So then a few months went by, and May rolled around. So he was a senior. He graduated, and then he reached out to me and said that he had decided that he wasn't moving away and was staying in the same state that we were both from, and he wanted to try to rekindle things. So that was in the summer. We had hung out a few times, but I started a new job, and I met someone at my job, and I actually started a new relationship. So we kind of lost touch for a few months, and then that relationship that I started was very toxic. A lot of cheating, emotional abuse. It was not a good relationship, but it did last it was on and off for a really long time. So throughout that relationship, the original guy came back into my life my junior year of college and wanted to really like give things a shot, but he still wasn't fully ready for a relationship, but he wanted to see where it would go. But I kind of shot him down because he was a little hesitant to be in a relationship, but mostly because I was so caught up in the toxic cycle that I was stuck in with my boyfriend at the time. And that was like a really big regret that I've had since then.
So in your
Um,
mind,
mhm.
you kind of ended things.
Yeah, like he wanted to kind of give it a shot, and I didn't invest in it because I was just too caught up with that toxic
How long
relationship.
ago was that?
That was in the end of 2017, beginning of 2018.
So 5 years ago.
Yeah, but then after I kind of shot him down, he started dating someone else a few months later. And then we didn't talk for a really long time. And then Labor Day weekend of 2020, he had reached out to me. He was still dating that girl. I was still on and off with the toxic ex-boyfriend. And he asked me to come hang out with him and his friends. So we tried to just be friends. We hung out a bunch of times, but he never brought his girlfriend around me. So I never met her. And we hung out a bunch of times, like so Labor Day weekend. We went out.
Yeah.
It was a little shady, yeah.
Yeah.
Went out for Labor Day weekend, went out for Halloween, like a bunch of random weekends in between then. And then he had told me that his girlfriend got accepted into grad school, like really far away, and he was following her there. So he had a going away party with his guy friends and invited me and one of my girlfriends. Again, his girlfriend was not at the party. We ended up kissing that night. He wanted to take it further, and I shut it down, and I was like, you're in a relationship. I don't want to do that. I don't want it to get messy.
He cheated on his girlfriend.
Yeah, he cheated on his girlfriend. He wanted to take it further. I said no. And we kind of just like had a long talk, and he said that like he tried to rekindle things with me my junior year, and I kind of shot him down, like I told you, because I was dating someone else. And I kind of questioned him. I was like, do you see a future with this girl? Like, why are you moving so far away with her if you could so easily cheat on her? And he couldn't really give me a straight answer. The only thing he said about his relationship was that he loved the dog that they had together. And he had already told everyone that he was leaving, and he kind of like felt committed, and he couldn't like back out of leaving with her. So he said, obviously it's too hard for us to be friends. I left the party, and then a couple of days later I saw he had deleted me on all social media and like removed me as a follower. So I was kind of hurt by that because we had been in each other's lives for so long. So I texted him and I was like, it's kind of cold for you to just cut me out as if nothing happened.
Yeah, but that was
me.
more, him trying to move on. I mean,
I guess, yeah. Mm-hmm.
He shouldn't have invited you without his girlfriend being there. He was lying to himself about wanting to have a friendship and lying to you about like trying to be friends. You guys, he cheated on his girlfriend with you. He would have been willing to go even further than just a kiss. You rightfully, called him out and stopped him from it getting even worse than it was, but you both played a role. He had a low character moment, we'll call it that. And hopefully that moment, was like, what am I doing? Like regardless, like I fucked up. And quite honestly, if the right thing for him to do, it was exactly what he did, was he should have blocked you, and not, it has nothing to do with you. It's just more, I can't tempt that this was wrong for me, and I need to, so quite honestly, you should be happy that he had a correct reaction to a low character moment. Your ego doesn't like that, but your ego doesn't really care about your character or his. So yeah, I think you should see that differently. Anyways, he called you. Go ahead. He
called me. Yeah, that's a good point. I've never looked at it that way, that it was kind of probably the right thing for him to do. So he called me and we were kind of just going back and forth, and he was like, well, like, what do you want me to do? Like, what should I do? And I kind of just got mad at him, and I was like, you know what, do whatever you want. Like, have a good life. Hung up on him. And I kind of wish I would have been like, don't go, like, don't leave with her. Like, I feel like, we always keep coming back into each other's lives for a reason. And there's obviously this like undeniable chemistry and spark and feelings, but I didn't say that. And then we didn't talk for like over a year, and I was still thinking about him, and I kind of didn't like how we left off on bad terms. So last summer I texted him, and I was just like, I want to apologize for yelling at you and hanging up on you. I was just really upset. And you meant a lot to me. And I wish we would have got the timing right. But if you're happy, I'm happy for you. And he said there was no hard feelings, and he wished me the best. And then I found out a few months later that he was engaged to that same girl.
How long ago was that?
I think I found out in the fall of this year.
Whew, well, I don't know. What do you think? I mean, listen, like you have one option. Go big kind of thing.
That's what I'm kind of like. Should I just text him and lay it all out on the table, like that this is how I feel? And I think we could have something
before you do that,
and
like how certain of your feelings are you about this? Or is this, you reminiscing about the past? And certainly, there's justifiable reasons for you to have regrets. I wish I would have handled this situation differently. You truly have no idea how he would have reacted to any of your, going back in time.
Right,
you could how do you want to handle this? You could have been like, well, I don't want you to leave. He could have just easily been like, I don't really know, and still left because I don't know. So you don't know either. So you can regret it, but there's no point in you beating yourself up over it.
That's true.
Back to the original question, it's just like the fact that you've been going out there and dating around and meeting a bunch of other guys, and them not comparing to him. I don't think that's meaningful at all. I think that is a mistake we all make, because you are only looking for one, right? And I strongly think there are more than one person in this world for us to connect with, have chemistry with, have, I don't believe in soulmates. I know this all started with, soulmates, but that's just a personal preference. I have no doubt that this is a guy that you have a very natural chemistry with, that there is a strong connection between the two of you. That I have no doubt, right? But you both made choices. Our choices matter. We can fuck up our lives, so to speak, but we can learn from our mistakes. And so I guess back to what I was saying, it's just like, you're only 26. Just because you've been on a bunch of shitty dates, you just been on a bunch of shitty dates with guys who weren't your guy, right? But if this guy moves forward with this wedding, it does in no way mean that you're not going to find someone at all. It's just not going to be him.
Right.
So you really have to ask yourself, is this really about him, or is this about you just getting impatient with your love life?
I mean, it might sound naive, but I really do think it's about him, because I have met other people that I have connected with. It's not that I'm like totally like given up on dating.
And what would you be willing to do for him right now? Because for you to go in there and risk fucking up someone else's life, this other woman.
I know, that's like what eats at me too. Like, I don't want to be the.
It is what it is. Either that's mostly on him, really. Honestly, if he loves her, then he's just gonna be like, yeah, sorry. I mean, so it's on him to decide whether what you have to say to him matters to him at all or not. That being said, if it does rattle him at all, like you need to be willing to do anything within. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you willing to move?
If we were really going to give it a real shot, I would be willing to do that.
Okay. Most likely what will happen is that you shoot your shot, you don't get the reaction you want, And as disappointed as you might be, that regret that you feel now will go away. If this guy was supposed to be your guy or soulmate or any of that stuff, you know, you've seen enough of rom-coms where they've, you know, didn't shoot their shot at a certain period of time, but it didn't matter when, as long as they shot their shot, that person came around.
Right.
And so if he doesn't come around, I think the long term, it'll be easier for you to stop thinking in terms of soulmate or regret or wishing you would have said something in the past and yada, yada, yada.
Mm-hmm.
So this is more of a personal exercise for you, and he'll have to decide what he wants to do, how he wants to. Does he tell his fiance? Does he not tell his fiance? Not really your problem, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I forgot to also mention that I found out that he also cheated on her early on in their relationship with somebody else that I know.
I mean,
I don't know if
so
that
do
doesn't
you
really
want to
change anything?
Well, I mean, other than the fact that like he's, a cheater.
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
There is that. Did you feel hope when you heard that story? Because it showed a crack in that relationship? Or did you see that as a red flag of his character? Because I'm pretty sure it was hope.
Maybe a little bit of both. Yeah, definitely hope that I don't think that this relationship is pretty solid. But also, I mean, of course, it's a red flag. I mean, I've been cheated on a bunch of times and I wouldn't want to be in a relationship again where I have to worry about that. But I don't know if it's something that he would do over and over again. I mean, I don't know. I think it may be just a low character moment. I don't know. I guess more hope.
Well, the good news is, regardless if you shoot your shot or not, you're not asking him to get engaged or get married. So.
No, no.
And then if he does surprise you and you guys start a relationship, I don't know on day one you're like, oh, by the way, so like I do know you cheated on her and like let's get couples therapy, but I think it could be something. I don't think you should ignore it. You can say like, listen, like I'm so happy we're here, but like this did happen, and I've been cheated on before, and we all are imperfect people. I've made mistakes, but we have had so many close calls of losing this that I want to do everything in our power to make sure we have the healthiest possible relationship. Would you be willing to go to couples therapy with me? Can we talk about our past mistakes and past relationships and how we don't want to do that to each other? You communicate, you just be open-minded to it. And, again, if he doesn't give you the reaction you want, you might learn that he's a douchebag, or I don't know. So how are you going to plan on reaching out to this guy?
I would do it over text, but I have no idea what I would say.
I kind of want to text him right now.
Yeah.
Right now? Oh my God.
Should we write the
right
text?
Now?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's write it so at least I have it.
Oh, if you write it, we're sending it.
We're sending it? Oh my God. Okay.
I think, okay, so maybe do we start by saying, hi, I know that this is completely out of the blue and a very bold thing to do.
Great.
But I saw that you were engaged and it's been messing with me.
If I'm being honest, I think about you all the time. I think about all the regrets I have with regards to our relationship. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't really like a relationship. I could still say that.
It was a relationship.
You could even say I have a lot of
I have a lot of regrets
when it comes to us.
Yeah. There you go.
Including never fully giving us a shot.
Never having the guts to put it all on the line for us. I completely understand if you don't feel the same way about me.
And if it's too late? I 100% respect that.
But I couldn't
know,
live with myself.
Yeah,
I didn't tell you how I felt.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Insert nude.
And then the ending is just being like,
check out my body.
Do we definitely want to include? I feel like Nick, you had a line something about like logistics, like being like, I'm ready. So
it's just like, if you don't feel the same way, you don't even owe me a response if you don't feel the same way. But if there's any part of you that does, just know that I'm fully prepared to do whatever it takes to
give us a real shot
at being in a relationship, giving us a real shot at being each other's person. I don't think you can go too hard to the paint here.
Are you sure?
You're literally trying to break up an engagement.
Okay, true.
If you think any of these things will rub him the wrong way, he's not your guy. You really have to put yourself out there. Otherwise, it is a bit fucked up for you to just like not really commit and dip your toes in the water and just be a distraction for him to want to like think to think about someone else other than his fiance.
No, you're 100% right. That's true. I liked what you said before about mentioning that this could kind of come off as disrespectful or like affecting other people's lives. Like, I know it's selfish.
Yeah, just be like, I understand this is...
Yeah, don't we have a line that's like, I would never forgive myself, or like, I couldn't do that? Like I think you can couple it with that line being like, where you're like, if you do not respond, like, I will fully respect your relationship, and I understand that this is a really selfish thing to do. Given the timing and the way it impacts and
the way it impacts
other people.
Okay, I understand that this is a really selfish thing to do given the timing
and the fact that it potentially impacts other people.
I'm only doing this because I would never forgive myself for not saying something.
Yeah, it's a little repetitive, I feel like.
Yeah, we can definitely.
We can edit, yeah.
Hi, I know that this is completely out of the blue and a bold thing to do, but I saw that you got engaged and it's been messing with me. If I'm being honest, I think about you all the time. I have a lot of regrets when it comes to us, and the biggest is never having the guts to put it all on the line for us. If you don't feel the same way and it's too late, you don't even owe me a response, and I 100% respect that, but I couldn't live with myself if I didn't let you know my true feelings. Just know that I'm fully prepared to do whatever it takes to be each other's person. I understand that this is a really selfish thing to do given the timing and the fact that it potentially affects other people. I'm only doing this because I couldn't forgive myself for not saying anything.
All right.
Boom.
Solid. Is this how you feel?
Yes, but do you think, like, I didn't put anything about like how I felt like we had this like insane chemistry and like no one's compared to you? Or
it's implied.
Like that?
You literally just told him that you think about him all the time and you're willing to do anything to be each other's person. I feel like...
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know if you need the sprinkles, so to speak. All right.
Okay, are you going to send it?
Do I have to send it right now?
Yes.
I think you should, because I don't think you will. I think if you don't send this now, you're going to edit it.
I want you to be confident in that this is how you feel. And if this is how you feel and you can say that with 100% certainty, then there's no better time than now.
Yeah, it's definitely how I feel. I'm just nervous of like embarrassing myself.
This is not about you embarrassing yourself or not.
I think it's more embarrassing to live with regret.
If he doesn't reply back the way you want, he's not your guy, right? And this is about you just getting it out of your system, so to speak. You're putting it out there. You know, your ego, right? Your ego might say things like, well, just so you know, he's always going to know that he could have had you, or that none of that matters, right? If he doesn't give you the answer you want, eventually, maybe 6 months from now, maybe 2 weeks from now, maybe 3 or 4 years from now, you're going to meet someone that makes you completely forget about this guy, or at least make you glad that he didn't give you the answer that you wanted. It may not happen when you want it, but it will happen. Like, this is not about your ego. Your ego is the reason why you're in this mess in the first place, because you were too worried about being cool or not sounding crazy, wanting to be the chill girl or whatever it was. You weren't willing to put yourself out there and be vulnerable and just let someone know you care about them and put all your chips on the table, willing to risk it all. And that's why you're in the mess that you're in now. So you got to change course. And this is more about closure than anything else. And it's a long shot that you're going to get the answer you want. But like we said before, this is already a selfish move. It would be 10 times more selfish for you to do anything less than this if you're going to put yourself out there. And you've already wasted enough time fantasizing about this guy or wishing you would have done things differently. Like, you're wasting all this energy getting nowhere. So you might as well just go bold, put yourself out there, shoot your shot, see if this is how he feels, and let him deal with his mess, let him deal with his decisions and his relationship, and just make sure that you hold yourself and him accountable for not making the same mistakes that you made with each other in the past.
Yeah, you're 100% right. I can't argue with that.
All right, send it.
Okay. Oh, God.
Just imagine there's a guy out there that I've never met who's about to just be like, holy shit.
I know.
Yeah, I bet his fucking fiance is going to call in to ask Nick.
Oh, my God.
What a dream. What a dream. 3, 2, 1, send.
Okay, send it.
Let's see it. Let's see it. Let's see it.
Okay.
Oh, it's delivered.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Well, we're obviously, we need an update as soon as humanly possible. You did a very brave, very bold thing.
Thank you. Oh my God.
Yeah, congratulations. You were vulnerable. You put yourself out there. Now you just have to let the chips fall where they may. Do you feel at least a little bit good? How do you feel? Like, is there?
Yeah, it's definitely a weight off my chest because I've been thinking about it
Aren't
so
you
much.
glad
just,
he knows
obsessing.
how you feel?
Yeah, I am. I feel like if I feel that strongly, like he should at least know.
Yeah,
not
totally.
keep it to myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
And
All right.
yeah, we don't know if he's your soulmate, and we don't know if he's your person, and we don't know if you could even be in like a good boyfriend or girlfriend situation. We just know how you feel right now. We know that you've held on to these feelings in the past out of fear of looking silly. You've given into your ego in the past. This is all about you not doing that now. And he's going to deal with his shit or not. Right now, you need to feel good about what you just did and just being honest with yourself and communicating your feelings. And that hopefully should make you feel empowered, regardless if you never hear from him. Because you even said, hey, I'm not even expecting a response.
No, I'm not. Yeah, but that's true. Thank you.
It's hard to do. Most people
Very
like this.
hard.
Yeah. And like, you're going to remember this moment for the rest of your life. You're going to, no, seriously,
Yes.
you know, and you are going to. I did this once a long time ago.
Really?
And, yeah. And I knew I nothing happened, you know.
Right. She didn't answer?
She did, but it didn't go anywhere. Right. And ultimately, like, they were never my soulmate and whatever, but I just knew that I never did that. And I knew that I just wanted to do that. But my point of bringing that up is it took guts to do, and I'm glad I did it. I'm proud of myself for doing that because I know that was hard to do. And it has nothing really to do with her or anything like that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay.
Alrighty.
All right. Well, take care. Keep us posted.
Thank you so much.
Can't wait to find out.
Will.
We're very excited. I don't want to give you false hope, but I will be shocked if he doesn't reply.
You think? I hope he says something, even if he turns me down.
It's too. Yeah, I just met. He's not going to not reply.
Because you laid it all out there and you were honest and you weren't assuming anything. And yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Unless he feels guilty about, you know, cheating on his now fiance with you. And
true.
In a weird way, him not replying shows that he's maybe grown up a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
And if he does reply and not give you the answer you want, you can use that as like, because he shouldn't. He should not reply to you if he doesn't feel the same way about you.
Right. Yeah, there's really, I guess, not much to say if he doesn't feel the
And
same
the person I wrote, like, I knew they would, and I took that as knowing that she needed to like write me back because there was something, you know, because it had all the things. She might have even called me. I think she did.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But she shouldn't have. She had no business replying to me and calling
Yeah, that's
me.
a good point.
She was in a very serious relationship at the time, you know, and she had no business doing that.
So did she just call you to say that she didn't feel the same way or didn't want to give it another shot?
It was just more like, it was, you know, she had her ways of doing things, so to speak. But yeah, it was just kind of like, I just wanted to acknowledge, I didn't want to ignore your message. But the truth is, like, he is engaged to this woman and he did fuck up with you. And if he knows that he wants to be with her and regrets what he did with you, which has nothing to do with your value, your worth, or what he means to you, he should regret what he did with you. And if he really wants to be with her, he has no business responding to you whatsoever. And so if he does respond to you in any way, shape, or form, only to then reject you, that's shady.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't think of it like that.
It's, you know, he's doing it because he just wants to hear one more time wants to hear your voice, and it's an excuse to reach out. And he just doesn't have the guts to like do something as messy as end an engagement, and it just all seems too complicated and whatever.
Yeah.
But he should not reply to you unless he's willing to, like, you know, fight for you, you know, and he's willing to like leave, you know, all the more reason, like, you did the right thing.
Thank you.
If you hear nothing, that's just you letting it out into the world and just kind of a cleanse, if you will.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right. We're excited to hear what happens.
Thank you. I just wanted to say I read your book like a month ago and I absolutely loved it and definitely recommend it to everybody.
Well,
Yay.
that means a lot. Thank you so much. Viallfiles.com.
Of course.
All right.
All right. Thank you so
All
much.
right. Take care.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, all you cookers out there. Have you checked out Caraway yet? If you haven't, you're nuts. But seriously, if you're looking for new pots and pans and bakingware, Caraway has it all, and it is excellent. I am an owner of 2 different Caraway sets, plus their cooking sheets. Just last week, we were cooking some potatoes, and we needed like a cooking sheet for it. But we had like some non-Caraway ones, like stuffed built in the drawer, and I'm not allowed to even use those anymore. Because the Caraway one it's so much easier, it's so much better, it's cleaner, it's easier to prepare. Just the quality of the Caraway products is second to none. They are easy to clean. Most importantly, they are safe for you. They don't have all those terrible, chemicals that you find in so many other non-stick pots and pans out there. Free of PTFEs such as Teflon, lead, other things I can't pronounce. Caraway comes in a variety of chic shades, and all sets include complimentary easy access storage solutions. It's so easy to clean. It cooks evenly as well. I don't know, for cookers out there, you get like some crappy pots and pans, and like it just doesn't like
one side's burned.
Yeah, it just doesn't have like an even like cooking surface. And again, they're durable. I've had my Caraway sets for 2.5 years now. I love it. I'm a Caraway customer for life, and they're so reasonably priced. So over 40,000 people have raved about their Caraway kitchen set. Now it's time for you to try it yourself. Their ceramic naturally slick surface means minimal oil or butter for slide off pan eggs and easy cleaning. Whether it's pan eggs or vegetables or steak, you can cook anything in your Caraway pots and pans. So to get your Caraway set today, visit carawayhome.com/VIALL and take advantage of this limited time offer for 10% off your next purchase. This deal is exclusive for our listeners. So visit carawayhome.com/VIALL and use code VIALL at checkout. Caraway, non-toxic cookware made modern. Grammarly! If you are dyslexic like Amanda and I, and you don't know where commas go, well, you need Grammarly today.
My grandmother is an English teacher, and so I understand the importance of grammar, and I panic so much before I send an email. The number of times I would reread emails before I had Grammarly, like I think about like years of my life were wasted doing that.
For $1 million, I could reread an email 1 million times and still not catch all the mistakes.
And Grammarly catches all the mistakes.
True.
It also helps you strengthen your tone, which I think has been so powerful. Even things like saying, I think, sometimes Grammarly will be like, you don't need to say that. And so it has these awesome, helpful recommendations to ensure that you're communicating in a very clear, concise, professional manner.
I wish I would have had Grammarly Go in college, because I feel like there were so many Saturdays when you would have to write an essay and you kind of knew what you wanted to say, but you just couldn't get the wording out, or you wanted to rephrase something later in a paper. And I just remember sitting and staring at a blank page of paper. And if I would have had a tool like that to just help me like regenerate thoughts or just help me avoid writer's block, the time I would have saved.
Amanda and I are living proof that like you can be a dum-dum in the email, but like not that dumb in life. So stop looking dumb. Go ahead, be smart, do something smart today, and get Grammarly. Go to Grammarly.com/go to download and learn more about Grammarly Go. That's GRAMMARLY.com/go. Grammarly.com/go. How's it going?
Okay, I am Sabrina. I'm 22 and I need advice on breaking up with my boyfriend of almost 5 years.
Okay. All right. So you're 22, 5 years, obviously. First love?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does he see it coming?
No.
At all. Okay.
Like we've had talks, but I feel like I always like just I'm a pushover, and then like we argue and then nothing gets resolved, and then we just move on.
When you say you've had talks, what do you mean?
Well, it's like the main reason that has sparked this all is that he refuses to come to my coworker's wedding with me.
Okay.
Because he won't know anyone there is the only reason. And it comes up a lot that he won't want to come to the things that I'm doing, like whether it be like my best friend's birthday dinner or a family event. And I'm always upset about those things. And then he just says like, like selfish things like, well, why should I have to go? And then I get mad, and then like he just says like stubborn things like, break up with me then.
Okay.
And then I never do.
Okay. All right. What else? Why else do you want to break up with him? I'm not saying that's not, he sounds like a dick.
Yeah.
We hate him.
Yeah. Okay.
But I want there to be more for you, because I don't want you to break up with him with this narrative in your head that I'm breaking up with him because he won't go to my friend's wedding, because that's such an easy fix for him to do to get out of jail, so to speak. And I am guessing that there are bigger, more deep-rooted issues in this relationship. And if you're going to break up with him after 5 years, I want you to do it with conviction about your choice. And listen, you're going to go through periods of sadness and loneliness, maybe even thoughts of regret of your decision. But you've been dating this guy for 5 years. You know who he is. And it's going to be a challenge for you to leave that relationship. It's going to be very easy for both of you to continue to hook up and hang out and find your way back to each other. And this 5-year relationship could turn into like a 2-year breakup if you're not careful.
Yeah. And I have thought about that too, because I'm like, oh, well, he could, what if he says, I'll change everything. Like I'll start coming to things with you. And I have like backup, I'm thinking, at least, because it's deeper rooted than that for me. Like, it's more that he doesn't care about what I'm interested in.
Okay.
And he doesn't make any attempts to care. He only cares about what he wants to care about and what benefits him. And like, obviously listening to podcasts like this one, I have a reference point of like how I should be treated. Like he would never pump my gas for me. Even if I asked, he would go, ugh.
That's all I needed to hear.
Okay. Yeah. And I don't think that even if he says, I'll change everything, like, I think it's too deep of like an easy fix. Like it's fundamental, but I'm scared that he will say that.
Scared why? He almost certainly will.
He's very stubborn. Like I have I'm thinking he's going to say, I'll be like, okay, if you don't want me like this, then that's that. And then I'm going to be left like, oh, that was it after 5 years.
Say that again.
Well, like if I just say all these things about why I'm not feeling good about it, he's going to say, okay, well, if you don't like me how I am, then like you can leave me then. And then I'm going to be the heartbroken one after 5 years that he won't even try to fight for me.
You're going to be,
which is kind of toxic.
Yeah, we're all a little toxic. You're going to be sad. I mean, you care. I'm like, if you're both not sad, then there's something else going on with you guys, you know?
Yeah.
This guy was, you're 22 years old. You've known this guy. You've been in a relationship with him for a quarter of your life. That's huge, right? So like we can't discount that. You should be sad. This should be difficult. It doesn't matter if you're leaving or he's leaving. I don't know how he's going to handle it. Be careful not to critique his reactions in real time, so to speak, because you're right. His first reaction might be defensiveness, pride. His pride might take over. Fuck you. I don't care. Just leave. You know. In hopes that, you know, some kind of, you know, it's been manipulative, in hopes that you would then second guess yourself and say, no, just kidding, right? But if you show the conviction that you want to have, we have no idea. He is not, you described yourself moments ago as a pushover, right? So if you feel that way about yourself, chances are deep down, he feels that way about you too. You know, whether he's going to say it or not, he treats you like you're a pushover. He is daring you to break up with him. Right?
Yeah, and I don't.
Yeah.
Because I always stay.
Yeah. So we're talking about a scenario in which you will stop being the pushover that he thinks you are. And when he meets that person, we have no idea how he's going to react to that, because that will be a whole new you, and that will throw him for a loop. And the moment he realizes he no longer has the power that he now feels like he has over you, then all bets are off in terms of predicting what he is going to do after that.
Yeah. Yeah.
What matters is none of that matters as far as you're concerned in your decision to want to break up with him. you know, and just, you know, like you don't need a reason to break up with them. You know, he doesn't own you. I don't care if you break up with him for no reason. Be like, I don't know. I just don't want to. I want you to have a reason for yourself because I want you to have conviction in your decision. You know, I want you to believe in your decision to leave him in this relationship. Again, we don't know what he's going to do, but whatever he does, is this going to be a reaction to your decision? You know, so a reaction to your initial, like, I think we should break up, then a possible reaction to the fact that you don't give in. And that it sure comes across as that you are going to follow through with this threat, because it's not going to be a threat. He's going to see it as a threat at first, and then he realizes it's not a threat, but actually something you're doing. Then he's going to react a new way. But his reactions don't matter. You know, they're going to matter. You've acknowledged that they might matter to your ego, but this is a relationship you want to leave. So that's a relationship that you want to end. So I don't know why. It's like human nature for us to like evaluate the meaning of a relationship that ends. Logically, it makes no sense. Why does it have to have meaning? It can have meaning for you, right? Meaning in terms of like, no matter what, this guy was your first love. And he will always be a memory for you. He will be a significant one at first. It's going to be super fucking weird for the next year. You know, he's the only one you've made out with. I mean, have you slept with anyone else?
Yes.
Okay. Good for you. Bravo.
Thanks.
Well, you know, who knows? Like, these are all like challenges. You know, you're familiar with him. So there's a lot of new things are going to, you know, it's going to be scary and uncomfortable for you, you know? You know, and you're going to want to focus your energy on just getting you out of your comfort zone, trying new things. You don't want to waste any of your energy, because that is energy. It takes energy worrying about how he's reacting to your decision. It takes energy, you know, thinking about whether he misses you or not. It takes energy wondering how regretful he is over losing you. And that takes energy. And that's energy you won't have on actually you moving forward. Anytime you are wondering about him, you are still mentally in that relationship. And so many of us will like say we're broken up or leave a relationship that we tell ourselves isn't healthy, but mentally stay in that relationship. And as long as we're mentally there, whether we're checking their Instagram or talking to our friends about them and wondering if they miss us and yada, yada, we are emotionally and mentally still invested in that relationship. And while by title, he might not be your boyfriend, you're still very much in it. And that's what I want to make sure you don't do if you decide to leave.
Yeah, I feel like I'm very stuck on like making sure it's like the perfect breakup, and it's hard for me to get past that, because I'm like, I know that my decision is right and like I'm not being treated well, so I have to do this. But then I'm thinking too much about like how he's going to react, and
he's going to react shitty, totally shitty. This does not sound like you have not described someone who's going to be like, you know what? We had a good run. I'll always love you. Let me know if you need anything. I'll be your best friend. No, he's going.
And that's the dream.
But is it though? Honestly, that makes it more complicated. Let him hate you for a while. Let him talk some shit. Let him get angry. His anger is just, a reflection of his love, in a toxic way, He'll pretend to maybe be indifferent at first. Clearly he's not. Even if he is, that just shows you that, if he acts indifferent, that's just a sign that you made the right decision. It's a sign, if you want to get angry at anyone, don't get angry at him. Get angry at yourself for staying in a relationship that probably deep down, that you stayed in longer than you should have. And there's no sense in beating yourself up over that emotionally, but that should challenge you to like not waste any more time than you've already wasted.
Yeah.
So how do we want to tell him?
I don't know. I've never had to break
up
with someone before. I've considered being like,
one of these days, someone's going to ask you to break up with their boyfriend.
No, because I genuinely think it comes across as kind of a joke, but Nick means it out of like the goodness of his heart, because I've like cried to Nick before about how stressed I was to do it. And he was like, do you want me to do it? And I was like, what a tender moment that was.
Do you live together?
No, like we live with our parents, but like we spend every night together, whether it be at his house or mine. So
either at his parents or yours?
Well, either I'm at his house right now.
Right now?
I'm not right now. Like currently, like sleeping there at night.
Okay. I mean, you could just slow play it. Pack your bags, whatever bags that you have at his place.
I've been slowly bringing things home.
And then just hit him a text saying, "Hey, I just been busy. Be vague. I'm gonna stay at my parents' house for now. For now." Oh, I love that. Say for now.
I don't want him to know that I have like known that I'm going to do this for like a week now. That's why I feel like I have to bring up the wedding.
Why? Why? I mean, why? It doesn't really matter, but why? Does it sound
kind of just to like spark the argument so I can be like, I'm leaving.
The alternative is that you woke up one day and just like arbitrarily decided to dump him, that's not.
Yes.
It makes sense that you would put some thought into ending a 5-year relationship. There's nothing wrong with that. Yes, I've been thinking a lot about this. You've been the most important person in my life for 5 years. I'm not happy. I don't like the way you treat me. I don't like the way that you literally threaten to break up with me. You make me feel bad for having expectations of you. You make me feel like I'm doing something wrong by wanting you to like show an interest in the things that I'm interested in. I don't feel like you're willing to do the same things that I'm willing to do for you. And there's a pattern here. And
I need to copy paste that.
Yeah, I can repeat it
into my brain.
But write this down. I'm essentially just repeating back what you told me. Are you willing to do this in person? I don't think you have to.
Oh yeah, I'm doing it in person for sure. Okay. I don't want to. Like, I mean, if I was, but that would just be very out of character for me to like send a text.
Where do you think you're going to do this?
At his house. I have all my friends on standby to pick me up because I don't think I'll be in a position to drive after. Maybe I will. I have literally no idea how it's going to go. I've never been in this situation before. So maybe I won't even cry. I've cried enough this past week.
Yeah. Who knows? And who knows if he cries? I would have no expectations of him because
I know it's the
having expectations
part of me that wishes he did.
Yeah.
That needs to leave.
Expectations in these scenarios only leads to disappointment. So have no expectations. His reactions are just going to be they're going to be reactions of him being shocked and surprised and not emotionally regulated and caught off guard and upset and triggered. None of them are really reflections of how he feels about you or the relationship, and none of that really matters,
Also, on the flip side, if you have no expectations and let's say that he out of nowhere handles it super well and seems very receptive, I think it's easy to misinterpret like, oh, thank God this conversation was over. He handled it so well. Maybe I made a mistake. Maybe it's whatever. It's so easy to jump back into your head because you're so glad that the anxiety you've been feeling this past week is over. But don't confuse that with this being a great relationship and it being perfect and you forgetting about all the issues that have been popping up.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about that happening because if he takes it well, I'm assuming you'll be bummed that he's not sad.
I think it will.
And if he takes it hard, you'll feel guilty and wondering if you're being too harsh or mean, So either way, you're probably going to feel shitty.
I have a list in my phone of like, if I do regret it later, I have to look back at all of these reasons why I did it. So like, I don't feel regret. And I know that even if he thinks I was wrong in my choices and thinks that I'm expecting too much, I know that like, I'm not wrong.
That's so smart. And I also think like when you're like really hurting, it's like one of the times you're most connected to yourself. And it's like kind of like a weird, like bitter. So you're like, oh, fuck, I can't be very connected when I'm extremely happy. Like, no, that's not how this works. Yeah. But like, if it feels like shit, you're doing it right. And I think it's so easy to want to do things that like perfectly and like really, as cheesy as it sounds, like doing your best and like really making sure you're holding yourself to your best, not some version of reality where like you can pick and choose from like a bunch of different reactions and say a bunch of different things. Like, like it's inherently messy and shitty. And so as long as like you truly believe that like you are doing your best, you're doing everything you can and like extricating yourself from the situation, and then you let yourself like sit in the shit for a few days, like, or longer than a few days probably, but like it will I feel like it will really pay dividends. And I think you'll like look back on this as like a time that was like, whoa, I became a new person on the other side of this.
How confident are you in your decision to do this, and how determined are you to do it?
I'm very confident in my decision, like 100% confident in my decision. Okay. The more that I like tell a friend, or I've already told my parents. And like, as soon as I actually opened up to my friends and family, they were like, yeah, like we've been seeing this. Okay. And then like, no one has told me like, you're wrong. You know, everyone has been like, yep.
It would not shock me if he comes crying back at some point.
Yeah, that's what most people have also said.
But that's his loss. I mean, this should be a wake up for him. It's not your problem. And even if he does, it was way too late. He needs to realize you're gone with someone else before he will actually realize the full mistake that he made and actually want to make changes and be a better partner to someone else in the future because he lost out on you. Simply waiting a week and then regretting, oh, I'm so sorry, I'll do this. Those are just reactions. And they will quickly go away once he gets you back.
That's like, at first when I was thinking about doing this, I was like, well, maybe like he can work towards it. But then I was like, it's not a 1-day fix. It's not like even a week fix. It's like real, like deep down fixes that he would need to do, you know?
Yeah. So, I'm sure he wouldn't even entertain couples therapy.
No, he thinks it's crazy. I have a therapist. That's a red flag for sure.
Yeah. Well, just another thing to add to the list.
Like, I know it sounds crazy, but I have like set a date, like, which is like the next best possible opportunity because like we both are working 2 jobs and it's golf season.
I just need you to I need you to get it out of your head. This whole like goal of some sort of clean, beautiful breakup.
Yeah.
Doesn't exist. And honestly, I don't think you want that. It's more confusing than you realize. Like some sort of like amicable breakup. Like what is that? That is a recipe for wasting way more time.
Romanticizing the shit out of them.
Yeah, and having me hard because you will. No matter how shitty he was a big part of your life. And like it's more likely than not you will feel lonely. You're gonna miss him. You're gonna miss that comfortability if nothing else. And when you get back there and start dating, like, spoiler alert, there's a lot of other shitty guys out there. So you're going to have more bad dates than good dates, right? That doesn't mean that, if your first 3 dates are with guys who are more rude or more inconsiderate than him, that is not a reflection, or it does not mean that you made a mistake or that you weren't as grateful for what you had. It just unfortunately means there's a lot of shitty guys out there, and you might have to go on 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 dates, 30 dates, I don't know, over the next 2 to 3 years. You are only 22, 20. You're only 22. I don't know how that feels to you, but I'm here to say it's pretty fucking young, and you could easily be single for the next 2 to 3 years and date around and get to know, and that's what honestly I would encourage you. I mean, if you're lucky enough to meet someone you really want to settle down with, great, or get in a relationship, but you've been dating one guy for your entire adult life, and I think it's time to learn about who else is out there, and you can do that with intention. You can do that, while participating in hookup culture. You can do that without participating in hookup culture. You have a lot of variety. I think you should just focus on meeting people, making friends, learning about new, personalities, get to know different guys, strike up friendships with men, and things like that. Take it slow and enjoy doing that rather than trying to replace him. People make the mistake of leaving a relationship and they feel this like, they feel a literal void. I mean, whatever you did with, you're no longer going to be going to his parents' house. So all your routines that you have are going to be gone, and those are going to be spaced. They're going to feel like actual voids that you're going to kind of have anxiety about filling. So you don't have to do that all at once, and you certainly don't have to do that with a romantic partner. You can do that with friends and dates and things like that. So just kind of prepare yourself for all that, because too many of us kind of don't prepare ourselves, and then we panic. And then we resort back to the thing that we spent so much energy trying to leave.
I feel like this was super helpful for me.
I really want to break up
have to take the leap.
Yeah. Well, we can't wait to hear about how it goes. Please, we will book you for a follow-up as soon as possible. Like, talk through it. And you're doing something really brave.
It's okay that it's okay that he hates you for a period of time.
Yeah. It's just hard.
I know. And honestly, that's just a reaction. But get it out of your head that you're trying to cultivate some perfect breakup. He can be angry at you. Yeah. Hopefully he doesn't say anything,
mean.
He's going to say something mean, but hopefully he'll be angry and hurt. And he has the right to be angry and hurt, and I'm sure whatever he says will feel mean. Hopefully isn't crossing any, serious lines, but regardless, all the more validation you have, but he has the right to be angry. He has the right to be caught off guard and sad, and he has the right to feel emotion. And hopefully he's, operates within certain parameters of right and wrong, but just prepare yourself and tell yourself it is okay for him to treat me like the bad guy, because in your world he is, but that doesn't mean you are. Just kind of prepare yourself for that. And it's okay for him to see you that way, because that's what it's expected, He part of the reason you're doing this is because he doesn't get it. You're not on the same page. You don't see relationships the same way. So you should expect to be disappointed with his reaction. All right. Well, good luck. The fact that you're so confident clearly means you're making the right decision. It's going to be exciting. This is going to be really great for you.
I think so too. It's just the actually doing it that is like in the way.
Do you have any boys out there that you've laid your eyes on? Okay, no fun. All right.
No.
I'm not saying you were like emotionally cheating or anything like that, but like, listen, like after 5 years of being emotionally beat down, like you tend to be like, wow, that guy looks nice,
Yeah.
Well, wow, that guy looks nice.
I don't know.
This is the most like.
You just get like tired of, you just see things look more appetizing.
Man, he gets my pantaloons wet.
But if I were you, I would just go have fun with friends for the time being.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's the plan. They all know. So they're like fully ready to like, they're going to be at my house all week.
This is their
summer.
Super Bowl.
Summer's coming up.
Hot girl summer.
Yeah. Hot girl summer. We love that.
And also, this is like if you were watching a movie about yourself and then you did this thing, you'd be like, oh, fuck. Wait, I kind of underestimated this character. I thought she was just like kind of people pleaser. Like, those points when you're watching a movie and then a character does something, you're like, oh, shit, they have more to them than I thought. This is what you're doing for yourself and it's real life.
I never thought that I could do this. Like, I was like, oh, I'll just settle. This is good enough. And then I'm like, oh, I'm only 22.
Yeah.
I can't put up with this shit.
Yeah, the rest of your life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And single, I think it's important to be single for a while at least.
Definitely. I'm not looking to move on like that kind of move on yet. Obviously.
Well, there's no wrong
that will take
way
some
to move
time.
on. Yeah. Who knows?
No.
Be open-minded.
Everyone's different. So
be open-minded.
I'm more interested in trying new things because he would never do that with me.
Sounds like a ball of fun.
Yeah, right?
Why does he want to go to a wedding?
Jesus.
He won't know anyone there.
He's with
and
you.
Not enough fun. Yeah. Oh, he says things like, well, if my friend was there, I would have fun. And that was like when it really clicked. So I was like, he's my best friend. I'm not his best friend.
There you go.
Boy, bye.
All right. Well, keep us posted. I'm excited for you. I can't wait. Yeah.
Thanks.
I know you're like bumming it, but I wish.
I'm excited. I am excited to move forward. It's the hard part of actually having the conversation.
I'm just envious of you that you get to break up with someone,
What is up with you and breakups recently?
Because you guys all dread it so much and I don't give a shit. So,
fun for you.
And these particular stories, it would just be fun to
just rain on some shitty
If I could have
fuckboy
you could be in
parades.
my body and do it for me, that'd be great.
Yeah, we'll be talking
Thank
to
you.
you. I will email you. We'll be talking to you next week to get an update to hear about how it goes and how you're feeling.
Yeah.
And you got this. And I love that your friends are so supportive and are going to pick you up and everything.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. And it is
Me
absolutely
too.
what you deserve.
All right. Good luck. We're rooting for you.
Godspeed.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Okay.
All right.
All
bye-bye.
right. Thank you. Bye.
If you have maybe an exciting trip planned outside of this great country of ours where they might not be speaking English, maybe you're going to Mexico, maybe going to France, Germany, it doesn't matter. Babbel is here to help your trip become that much more enjoyable, because if you at least just try, just a couple key phrases will make your traveling to a different country so much more enjoyable. Whether it's checking into your hotel or finding reservations at the hot restaurant in town, Babbel makes it easy to learn some key phrases. Their very user-friendly app is amazing. Other language learning apps use AI for their lessons plan, but Babbel lessons were created by over 150 language experts and voiced by real native speakers, not computers, so you can work on your pronunciation, work on accents and things like that. Babbel, you can choose from over 14 different languages, like Spanish, German, Italian, and so much more.
If you are going through a breakup right now, I cannot recommend anything more than like learning a language, because people are always like, it takes time to heal. But it's like, what are you supposed to do in that time? And like, this is a life hack that I picked up where it's like, if you want to be doing something with your like downtime, maybe not just like ruminating, Babbel in learning a language is such a good way to fill that time because it is so good for your brain. You're acquiring this knowledge. You're setting yourself up for future adventures. It is truly such a marvelous way to invest in yourself, especially if you're feeling down.
That's a great idea. Then you can brag to your loser ex that instead of having them, you learn a new language. You only need 10 minutes to complete a lesson, so you can start having real life conversations in as little as 3 weeks. It's going to take you a lot longer to get over them. So download Babbel now. Right now, get up to 55% off your subscription when you go to babbel.com/VIALL. That is BABBEL.com/VIALL for 55% off your subscription. Babbel, language for life. Article summer is on its way, and have you been dreaming up ideas for your outdoor space and how to make the most of it? Well, you can make the most of it with Article. We just got these new, I don't even know what you call them. They're like beanbag chairs.
Like loungers.
Lounge chair, beanbag chairs.
They look so beautiful.
They're incredible. We love them. We have them outside on the patio. We're watching movies on them on the projector. They're very versatile. We also got wonderful lounge, like beach lounge chairs. They have like a wooden deck outside of them. Very comfortable. Great for sunbathing. We just got both of those. We love them. Absolutely stunning pieces of furniture, and they were shockingly affordable. And that's because Article cuts out the middleman. They just like get rid of them. No middleman for them. No showrooms, no wasted time, just you and great prices and great furniture. Everything that Article makes is state-of-the-art and sharp and durable, and you're going to get so many compliments. And whether it's outdoor furniture, indoor furniture, bedroom sets, they have it all. If you need to upgrade your furniture wherever it is in your home, think of Article, because Article is helping you get great furniture at such an affordable price. And if you don't like it, and it's like maybe not exactly what you wanted, which will be shocking, but they will come pick it up, exchange it, super convenient. Article's fast and affordable shipping across the U.S. and Canada. Plus, they won't leave you waiting around to pick up your delivery. They'll just send you updates every step of the way. Also, you can get furniture in like less than 2 weeks. Like we ordered our Article furniture. I think we got it in like 9 days or something like that.
That's amazing. Usually you have to wait like 6 to 8. Yeah.
Months. Like you're like a furniture these days, it's like at a year back order. It's ridiculous. Article is offering our listeners $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more. To claim, visit article.com/VIALL, and the discount will be automatically applied at checkout. That's article.com/VIALL, article.com/VIALL for $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more. What's going on?
Hey, I'm Cheyenne. I'm 27 and I matched with my boss on Hinge.
Nice to meet you, Cheyenne. Okay. Tell me more.
So I had seen him on there. So to start at the beginning, I was interviewing for a job and he was one of the people I interviewed with. At the time, did not know he was going to be my boss, and I clocked it. I was like, oh, cute. Amazing. Fast forward, got the job, he got promoted, and I found out I was going to be on his team. I also found out during that interview he had a girlfriend. It just came up in casual conversation. On Valentine's Day, he asked me what I was doing.
During the interview, you're like, that's a hottie. I'd like to see him naked.
Yes.
That was things that, like, while you're trying to get the job.
Immediately clocked it.
Immediately, like, I wonder how big his dick is. Yeah, okay, cool. Is that something women think about? Honest question.
Well, I'll let Cheyenne answer for herself, because
like, what do you guys like? Men are pervy. We're weird. We think about all different things. You see a guy, you find. Sorry, I'm going on a tangent here. I know this is your time.
That's Cheyenne.
Okay. You see a guy. Oh, like his face. You like his shoulders. At any point, are you like wondering how big his dick is?
I don't feel like I jump straight to dick.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. At what point is it something that's like on your radar?
If we're like making out and starting to get handsy.
Okay.
Like, it's not really something that like crosses.
So really, not until you're holding it do you even have an opinion of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, learn something new every day. All right. So, anyways, you're fantasizing about his dick. No.
Yes, of course. He has great hair. That's the first thing I noticed.
Okay, he has great hair. All right. So now you are reporting to him. You got the job.
Yes.
He got promoted. Yep. Oh, by the way, he's your boss. All right, continue.
Yes. So one of my one-on-ones in the office, it was on Valentine's Day. I was single. I am single, so didn't even clock that it was Valentine's Day. And he was like, "What are you doing tonight?" And I was like, "Nothing." And he made a point to say that he was going to sing sad songs at a writer's round because he's single. And I was like, "Oh, interesting to bring that up. Good luck. Whatever."
How old is this guy?
28.
Okay.
I've had some stuff going on personally, so I haven't been in the office too much. That has since resolved. Got back on the apps, saw him on Hinge. He was in my standout, so I was like, I feel like giving a rose is a little much.
What does that mean
for
the people who don't know?
Yes. So Hinge picks people that they think you're interested in, puts them in a special category. And if you want to match with them, you have to give them a rose. I think they give you one. And if you want more, you have to buy more.
Okay.
So that's where he was. And I was like, okay, single, cute, whatever. Like a week goes by, he's back in my standouts. And I was like, okay, interesting. He also either didn't see me or didn't swipe no. I'm going to tell my ego he didn't swipe no. But again, he's in my standouts. So I was like, rose is too much. Last week, he popped up in my normal batch of men.
Confusing.
Yeah.
My therapy appointment got canceled that morning. So I was like, screw it. So I matched with him and I put a
Instead
note.
of therapy,
and
I'm going to match with my
Yeah, you're
boss.
like, no parents.
My therapist would have told me no, but whatever.
She
It got
ain't
canceled.
here.
Yeah.
well. So I just made a comment about a show that he had quoted. And then I gave him an out because I definitely don't want to make him uncomfortable. So I just gave the out of like, I hope it's not as bad for you on here as it is for me. So that it was kind of like, I didn't want to be direct and be like
a
I
friendly
want to date
hello.
you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I actually, when I was single and on Raya, and she knows this because she tricked me down her show to talk about it. But like I saw Nikki Glazer on there, and like I would just swipe right on my friends just because it was like a more like, hey, I see you on here type of thing, with the assumption that, well, clearly this is not a romantic thing because we're just friends. But I realized that I need to be a little more careful with that. So knowing that you guys matched, so it's interesting that you kind of had that foresight and threw it out there as a, hey, it's like two people, like, on a lake where you drive past a boat and everyone waves, It's like boat etiquette.
Yes.
It's kind of like you guys just kind of waving at each other on the app, so to speak.
Right.
And then what?
I wanted to do that.
Okay. And then what happened?
So he responded back and quoted something from the same TV show. I quoted back. And then he quoted back. I quoted back. So now I was the last one to say something. So kind of where I'm at is like, I want to leave it at a place where I can say something that implies enough that I would be interested so that he could pick it up. But I also don't want to make this a weird dynamic and just outwardly be like, I want to go out with you or ask him on drinks, because I definitely I don't want to make it uncomfortable for him. I don't want to make it uncomfortable for me. So yeah, that's kind of
has
where we're
he
at.
replied to that? Or
so we went back and forth, I think 3 or 4 times, and I was the last one that has sent a message.
I need you to read us all these messages.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
So it's a show on Netflix called I Think You Should Leave. So I quoted and said,
I auditioned for that show once.
Wait, what?
Yeah. I didn't get the part.
Cool.
That's very cool. I love that show. Okay.
So I said, I knew you got your clothes at Dan Flash's. Hope it's not as bad for you out here as it is for me. And he said, everyone keeps eating the fully loaded nachos. They have a rule, in all caps. And then I was going to try to make it flirtier. And I said, have you seen the Tim Robinson episode of The Characters? Want to make sure you're up to date before I start hurling quotes. And he said, Pointer Brothers, ? And I said, are you standing up or have you been pointed at today? Because that's the whole kind of gag of that skit. And that is where it has left off.
Oh, not much to go on.
No.
And what is like the cadence of these messages? Like how much time is passing?
So the first couple, when I matched with him, he matched within 11 minutes.
Oh.
So I don't know if I just caught him when he was on the app, but the last message
You certainly
I sent
didn't think about it.
Right. So the last message I sent was Sunday. I have my one-on-one with him after this. So
interesting.
What?
Okay.
I know.
Well, okay. For the obvious questions we need to ask, how much do you love this job?
I mean, I like it, but like if I had to, like if this did progress and I had to get moved to a new team or anything like that, I would not be sad. With
how big
the
is
amount
this
of
company?
layoffs, it's pretty big.
So it's pretty big. So they definitely have an HR and they definitely have a policy around this type of topic.
I believe it would be I cannot be with anyone that affects my performance or that I report to. So it would definitely, if this did happen, would have to switch teams. So
I feel like you've made the first move, and
Yes.
I feel like you need to sit back and wait for him to make the second move.
Okay.
That's what I think. A lot of banter. Your inside jokes, these are all positive signs, but he is your boss. And I would rather have him take the risk than you.
Right.
He's in a position of power, literally, over you. He's your boss. Because, like, if you guys go on one date, you guys got to, like, and that's another question. Like, I don't know how you are, and certainly I don't know anything about him. But if this is a large company, I don't think you should go on a date and see how it goes to see if it's worth telling HR. Because you don't know how the date's going to go. And the last thing you need is some, like, rumor that gets to the wrong person, and they're like, you know, and then your coworkers, you know, if they catch wind that you're dating your guys' boss, you know, people gossip at work. You don't want to get a reputation. Right. You don't want people to think, oh, well, you're getting special favoritisms or just because you went on one date, you know? So you have to ask yourself, is even going on a date with him worth like drastically, you know, affecting your job? I mean, I don't know how he is as a boss. How long have you worked there for?
Just 6 months, less than that.
Okay, so but you know it's 6 months, so you have a rapport with him. Do you like him as a boss?
I do. I haven't had that much interaction, which I think is why I'm a little. I feel a little more separate from it, just because I haven't been in the office. I've been basically work from home.
Okay.
I'm pretty self-sufficient. So I think that's why I'm not having like, even you're completely correct in what you're saying. I think it's not registering as much because I don't have that
and
normal.
And is the working from home, like, let's say, okay, you go on a date with this guy, you report to HR. They're like, okay, cool. Well, thanks for letting us know. We can't be your boss anymore. We got to switch you to a team. Would you still be working from home regardless of who your boss is?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you familiar with any of the other potential new bosses?
Not fully, but there's a bunch of different teams and industries within kind of the realm that I work in. And I know we are hiring, so I know that there are options. My biggest question, because I too got advice from my friends and had the thought process that like he should probably make the move, but I was almost wondering if it's a bigger risk for him, because it's like if I make a move and he rejects me, it's like, oh, this will be awkward. But if the person in power makes the move and I reject it, I feel like I have a pretty strong HR case if that was the case. So I think you're
not gonna reject him.
No, but he doesn't know that. He might. That was the back and forth in my head, because I agree I would love him to make it, but I don't know if he has more to lose if it goes awry than I do.
I mean, yeah, he for sure does.
Yeah, it's like, it's tough because it's like, you're at the kind of like the flirty banter, like cat and mouse. Like, I think we stigmatize game playing so much in dating, and granted, like there's many ways that it's so unhealthy and shitty, but there's also like the reason it exists at all is because it's like a fun, like it's that chemistry and the way you get propelled. So it's like hard being at that stage while also in a kind of delicate situation that seems like it requires a lot of like communication.
But it also feels like if he was that concerned about HR, he wouldn't have matched with you to begin with, or he wouldn't be sending these messages back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, not everyone is me, that's for sure. But short of me being like, you know what, I don't, this person, I'm obsessed. I wouldn't I wouldn't even mess with it. I would not have matched with you. Even if I would have thought you were cute, even if you would have been someone that, you know, in a different situation, I might be interested in going on a date because, like, why not? No, I would have to be super into it. I definitely think, the safe bet is to wait. And I think there's things you can do in the meantime to, like, encourage him to take the risk. And your one-on-one, you know, you could bring it up, been like, yeah, it's tough out there, you know, or whatever. I guess whenever you have a chance, I think the line of I'm just waiting for the right person to ask me out could be good.
I like that.
You know, so if he asks you about the app, yeah, it's been a bit slow. Honestly, I'm just waiting for the right person to ask me out. Give him a little twinkle, you know?
Right. I am trying to, like, subtly plug it. Like, yesterday we were going back and forth about something that I had to do, and he told me that my work was beautiful, and I was like, don't be too nice to me, it'll go to my head. Just trying to, like, be a little bit more playful back and forth.
Yeah, you might have to be a little bit more direct than that.
Yes. I just didn't want it in writing.
No, super smart. Yeah, do that in person for sure.
Yes.
Do you think he's going to mention something? Okay, so I'm assuming you
What
work
if you're
from
just
home.
like at some point at the end of the one-on-one, you're like,
yeah,
so Hinge. Well, that's a wild place.
That's what I was going to say. Like, are you going to acknowledge that at all? Like, is this meeting recorded, or is this just like a Zoom between the two of you?
It's just a Zoom, and it's usually pretty lighthearted because, like, I'm pretty well supported in my job function, so I usually don't have that many questions to ask him. So we usually just talk about life. Like, in our last one-on-one, we ended up talking about, like, tattoos and this new bar that was opening up. So it usually does end up being pretty lighthearted. So I feel like I could definitely just kind of bring it up and see what he says.
Yeah, just be like, so Hinge is a like wild place.
A casual, fun way, not a, I really wanted to sit down with and talk with you about X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, you literally just say the word Hinge.
Right. Or, I don't know if this would be too subtle, but like referencing, I think you should leave could also be a gateway. Like an association.
There's a quote about, like, I hope you don't have a bad time at work, something like that I was gonna work in the future, depending on how it went. But I wanted to get the experts' advice first, because this is my first foray into being attracted to the boss. So.
I think just kind of play around with it, but whenever he asks you about how it's going for you, that's when you hit him with well, you know, it's been a little slow. Just like, I just been waiting for the right person to ask me out.
I like that.
That's pretty fucking direct without giving anything away.
Do you think I should definitely do this? Like, keep it to the one-on-one and kind of leave the Hinge messages alone for now?
Well, I wouldn't. I wouldn't send him another message. Did he send the last one?
No, it was me.
Yeah.
Yeah, then we gotta leave it for now.
Leave it for sure.
Yeah, this is helpful because I've never been in a relationship. I feel like I don't like people.
You've never been in a relationship?
I mean, I've been on dates and stuff. It's just never progressed. So I find myself sometimes getting self-aware and overcorrecting to the point where I'm like, do I actually like this person, or is it just, you know, he's nice? So sometimes I feel like I overcorrect.
Well, you know, but why do you, like, when you say you've never been in a relationship, what's the longest interaction with someone you've dated you've had?
2 or 3 months.
Okay. And then what happened?
Well, that one was when I was 22. We were together. I just jumped in it way too fast because I think I was excited. Someone wanted me to be their girlfriend, and then we got into it and I was like, oh, this is not it. So I broke it off. But no, I mean, nothing major has ever happened. I feel like I'm in a much better place in my life now, going to therapy and having gone to therapy for a lot longer to understand what I want. But I think I would get to a place where it would start to go well and I would self-sabotage. So. Okay.
Well, good for you for being in therapy. Yeah, I wouldn't think too much about the never had a boyfriend type of thing. You've been out there, you've been dating, you have experience. Yeah, I would, but I think the next move is definitely on him, both on the apps, and, you know, all you can do is continue to kind of give him as many nonverbal green lights as possible.
Right.
But I also,
like breadcrumb.
Yeah, but I also would just be willing to, like, let it go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, it might be nice to really try to go on a date in the next week or like week and a half with somebody else, just so that way, like, you don't have to be like super reactive about it. Like, I can't think about him. And it seems like you're in a really good headspace. You're like kind of intrigued and you're like interested. And like, for me, I know when I'm in that headspace, I can either like maintain it or I can go off the deep end and get very invested. And so I think like having another like pot on the burner, so to speak, just to kind of take some of your attention away so he's not monopolizing it accidentally could be helpful.
Provide perspective.
I'm, the more I think about it too, like this guy's your boss. I would just slow play this. What's the rush? He's not going anywhere.
Exactly.
I mean, who knows? I guess he could quit tomorrow. And well, listen, if he quits his job, then you could ask him out immediately. So there's that.
Right.
But assuming he continues to be your boss for a period of time, or you guys continue to work at the same company, he's not going anywhere. And, I guess he could find a girlfriend or not, but like, if that's the case, then, so be it.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I think you want to be mindful of kind of the energy you give out to him. So be careful about complaining about dating around him. I want you to give off the impression of highly successful dater. Be very confident and have a level of mystery that you're very desired and things like that. You don't have to really even say anything, but just kind of the energy you want to give off to him. And let him, if he is thinking about you, let him continue to think about you. Let him wonder about you. Let him, let him ask you questions about your personal life. And be open to being not super open at first. You can be a little cagey and a little, flirtatious that way. Because you don't want, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm assuming you don't want to go on a date with him, fuck, and then have like, you don't want this to be like a fuckboy situation or just a random hookup.
No.
Because like, what's that? That's not
Definitely
worth it.
Not.
Right? So
No,
while you guys work together, use this as an opportunity to actually get to know him more. Because you don't really know him that well. So if I'm him, if I'm interested in you at all, let's say I just think you're attractive, if I'm thinking about asking you out, I'm just doing nothing for a while and I'm just getting to know you and I'm seeing if there's something to build there, like you can almost date without dating, if that makes sense. Maybe it's a reason to get into how can you go into the office a little more often?
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's that. You can play with that. So I would definitely not make any moves and just focus on getting to know the guy. Ask him questions, see what he's willing to give you, nothing. And honestly, I think that's what you do. Now that the more I'm thinking about it, I think you do less to try to get to that question. I mean, listen, if he sets it up, you can always say it, right? But I wouldn't force it. For the time being, I would just get to know him. He's only been your boss for 6 months. You haven't really spent a lot of time with him. Most of your time at this company has been working from home. You've had a couple of one-on-ones, et cetera, et cetera. You've talked to him maybe even more on the dating apps than you have at work. So change that. You have access to him, And so you can utilize that access by getting to know this guy, getting familiar with him, getting to know his jokes, talk about stuff, have that kind of office boyfriend, if you will, without, and just be careful about, how people, don't be flirty around, be very careful about your surroundings. Even when you are just hanging out with them, at work. I think you can get a lot more information about one another so that if you guys do decide to do something, you're doing it with a lot more information than you have right now. Because right now, I honestly think it's pretty risky for both of you to just be like, hey, do you want to go on a date? And it's kind of nuts when you think about it, to like have almost no rapport, match on a dating app. You like his hair, he likes your face, and you guys are willing to go to HR and completely like change bosses just because someone you think is cute. That's not very reasonable. So I would invest more time on just getting to know each other and seeing if there's chemistry and a connection and a familiarity where you're at the point of you really know each other, you become friends and coworkers, and that passion, that desire is there. And if you guys end up going on a date, you're definitely going to be fucking on the first night, but only after you guys both mutually decide that, you know, this is worth it.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. That's something that I'm telling myself too, is like, I don't know him. Like, I like what I see, I like what I know, but I don't know him. So to like, obviously, like you're saying, to throw this all away potentially for nothing, I definitely don't want to do. And I was supposed to go on a date yesterday, but I found out the guy, I'm in a dating support group, and he apparently has a record and has undisclosed STDs. So I canceled that. But I am trying to like stay active. So in the city, it's like for women, this one is for women, to post about men that they've had bad experiences with. Some of them are legitimate. Some of them are, oh, he texted me in a tone I didn't like. So I try to take it with a grain of salt, but there's definitely some legitimate red flags in there. So I'm really glad I trusted my gut and checked.
Wow.
But
do
yeah,
most
you
cities have this now?
I've seen them before. Like people will post, you know, anyone who's
Where do you
potentially
find
concerning.
these? Are these,
it's like a Facebook group.
A Facebook group?
Yeah.
Yeah. Helpful to an extent. You could definitely get lost in there with people that are just like, oh, he ghosted me, which I don't think is reason enough to write a whole human off. But there are some legitimate concerns. But yeah, trying to keep myself busy, go on dates, not put all my eggs in this basket. But I recognize my downfall is I need to take it slow, let it go, and almost kind of just slow play it.
Yeah, I would just get to know him. You know, see if there's actually some rapport there or some chemistry. It's just not,
because at this point I could go on a date with him, hate him, and then we've blown up our lives for nothing.
Correct. All right. Well, it sounds like we have a plan.
Awesome. We do. I appreciate it.
Certainly
Thank you guys so much for having me on. I will.
If there's any update, we would love to hear it.
I will. I'll let you know. I don't think this one-on-one probably won't be too juicy, but if anything comes up, I'll definitely keep you guys posted.
For sure. Yeah, but come in with a couple like just questions about like, hey, how's life? You know, watching new. What are you binging? What are you watching? You know?
Yeah.
All right. We're excited for an update. Good luck.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for your time.
Take care.
Thanks. Take care.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.
Thanks for listening, guys. Don't forget to check out Viall Files Plus for your update special that dropped last Friday. Get ready for an amazing week. We'll see you back tomorrow. Bye. Hey guys, if you loved what you listened to, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.